Welcome, Amakhosi Network. Welcome to the channel. Today, we're going to talk about a topic that's very important to me. And yeah, I'll let you know what that is about. Please like and subscribe and comment. And yeah, guys, we hit 1.7. We almost at 2K. But today, we're talking about the young Kaizer Chiefs players that Kaizer Chiefs has failed. These are players, right, that I believe could have formed the core of the Kaizer Chiefs identity today, and they failed for a number of reasons. The reasons that they failed are: number one, the coaching style from the first team all the way to the development team was never the same. When I say it was never the same, they never played the same football, they never had the same identity. So if you were a player in development, you were trained to be a certain kind of player. Then when it was time for you to get promoted, you'd find a coach like Stuart Baxter who was like, I can't use this player, or whatever the case may be. Number one. Number two is the fact that this was the biggest one. It's also the fault of the players themselves. Discipline. A lot of these players, some of them had discipline problems, some of them had issues. And I'm seeing this discipline problem even now with the players getting suspended and all of those things. And as much as I still say in the ball boy situation, Chiefs was unfair, but what I've come to realize as well is that there's a lot of lack of discipline within the youth structures. Why do I say that? You see discipline in the small things. For example, Shabalala recently now he's starting to get tattoos. It just means bad influences, a lot of you will be like, but there's nothing wrong with tattoos. But I'm like, tattoos is like drinking alcohol. Sometimes the bad influences tell you that it's a nice thing. I even saw Kelet of Sifama now has tattoos for days. Bad influences. And I say this because if you check the young talented boys overseas who have more money than Abom Dushabalala, more money than Abu Kelet of Sifama, these boys don't have tattoos. Why? Because they are telling them be focused, be focused. So those are the 2 points. And the third point is just that management just does not believe in the youth players, and there's no progression plan. So management has a lot to blame for this. The culture you build into the youth structures and into the development is where it happens. If you are not forcing your senior coach to keep playing the young players, that's where the problems will start, because you'll be like, if this guy decides, if Stuart Baxter gets then decides to play 30-year-olds only, and Chiefs is like, just do it to win, then you will see what will happen. You won't get youth players. But anyway, let me get to it. I'm going to name a couple of players that I feel like were good enough. And the list I'm going to mention is not all the players, but these are the players I'm highlighting that we saw a lot of potential for. So I will miss some players here and there, and you guys will tell me your favorite players that you think should have made this list and who had the potential. And yeah, let's kick it off. So first is Yousef Banting. Yousef Banting right now is about 26 to 27 year old. He was competing with the likes of Abu Yousef Mart, etc. So Yousef Banting, his peer is currently Yousef Mart. Yousef Banting was a top goal scorer in the DTC or MTC at the time, but he was never given a chance to play. When I say that, I'm like, Yousef Banting, we all knew what he could do. Let me give you best example. Yousef Banting was the better version of Gustavo Paez, for those who still remember Gustavo Paez as a player. Yousef Banting had pace, he had finishing, he had what Ashley Dupree is doing now. Yousef Banting used to already do for Kaizer Chiefs, but because there was no vision for him, because they didn't push the senior team to play him, they didn't give him enough games, etc. You will never know. Example for this is Duba and Sabelo Khateb. If you don't give them a chance to play, you will never know. Why do I say sometimes you need to give players chances to play? Because a player at training alone sometimes can't take out their quality, because at training there are people who have their favorites, like I'm gonna pass Usbego, gonna pass me, we're gonna shine, we're gonna enter the starting lineup. Then game time, Usbego and Utato, they who favored each other in practice, they better on the game, but every day at practice they are shining, they dribbling. But then that other guy who's chilling on the side, who Yousef Banting, if you don't give him a chance to play in the game, you don't know what he could produce in the game. Meaning that he may not have the kind of people who are supporting him right in training. But when it's every man for himself, or when it's like crunch time in the match day and you play him in that squad, he does wonders. Example of this is there's been a not rumors, but I think it's actually facts now, is that Eden Hazard apparently was bad at training. They said he sucked at training. He was not a good player in training. He was just a bad player to have at training. But put him in the match day squad, you would be surprised what this guy was doing nonsense at training. He would kill everyone in training. I mean, in the match. And that's what I feel like players like Yousef Banting were like. Next player is Shopan. Shopan, his issue is he also wasn't given a chance, but his bigger issue, and this is my analysis, you can say of it what you will. And Shopan right now is around 26 years old. So you see, they are young players, meaning that these guys could be our core players today, meaning that we wouldn't need to sign a lot of players. What position did Shopan played? He played almost like a right wing. But here's my biggest issue with Dumeleng Shopan. He was largely coached by Arthur Zwane. But in the MDC, if you guys used to watch the MDC properly with Arthur Zwane, Arthur Zwane used to play Shopan as a wing back, meaning that how Happy Mashiane has suffered today because he doesn't know how to defend and he doesn't know how to be a consistent attacker, because he used to play what? He used to play as a wing back. A wing back means that we used to play three center backs, 3-5-1, something like that, formation like that, 3-5-2, or yeah. So in that wing back thing, you're not really the last call defender, and you are not really the attacker. You are just in the middle. So you support the attack and you support the defense, but your job in J is not either one of them. And what happened is that Shopani was playing that same position as Happy Machine. A lot of you have seen that Happy Machine has failed, and a lot of you understand. Happy Machine has failed for two reasons. He's not a consistent attacker. He can cross the hell out of the ball. He can cross, but he can't create the space to cross. Yes, now and then teams forget about Happy Machine. So when he comes as a substitute, they forget he can cross. They leave him, he crosses, he scores. Next game when he comes, teams have planned good. Happy Machine is going to cross. They stop him from crossing. He can't create a opportunity to cross or create space for himself. He's no longer good in attack. Then another problem of Happy Mashiane, if you play him in defense, he loses possession. He doesn't know how to position himself. He doesn't, like for example, Hlant is not the fastest left back, but because he knows how to position himself, you can't beat him easily. But Mashiane, you can. Shopan, same issue with Mashiane. He cheers when he went to the first team, they were playing him as a winger. But because now he's used to also defending and he's used to being a wing back, he doesn't really know his role. Meaning, what would I have done with Shopan? I would have trained Shopan to be a right back. Shopan was meant to continue to train to be a right back. When he got to the first team, I would tell him, remove all of the things that you know about being a winger. Now you are training to be a right back. Meaning that you get a coach, you say, defending drills. He's a fast player, very fast player, and he's a strong player, so he can go up and he can cross, and we wouldn't have had to sign players like Dylan Solomons, etc., because we would have had Shopan. These are the players we let go, but we could have put systems in place for them to shine. The next player is Given Tibet. Given Tibet, you guys know the story. He was an MTC player. He went to Swallows. He was shining because Chiefs sent him on loan to Swallows. He was shining. And then when he came back to Chiefs, the coach at Chiefs, which I believe was Stuart Baxter at the time, didn't believe in Given Tibet. And then, Stuart Baxter didn't believe in skillful players, if we have to be honest. He believed in players like Alexander Cole. A player like Yousef would be a player that is liked by Stuart Baxter. A player like Katsande, workhorses. That's why Stuart Baxter didn't like Simpile Ngobo, and Stuart Baxter didn't like players like Abu Happy Mashian, because he doesn't believe in the skill. He wants you to work. So that's why his best players were Parker, Alexander, And who's the other one? I even forgot. Katsande. Those were his best players because they just worked. They weren't skillful. They worked. So now Utibedi did well at Swallows when he came back from loan to Stuart Baxter. Stuart Baxter said he's not good enough. Stuart Baxter didn't want him. Why? Because Stuart Baxter does not play with skillful players. He wants these players that work like they don't have ngondos. But yeah, that's what happened with him. Given Tibedi was, and this goes back to what we always say, if your team does not have a natural philosophy, coaches can just come and do matand. Every season when a new coach comes, we're going to play a different kind of football, meaning that the players that coach finds when he arrives at the team will all of a second Sunday be useless because he plays Scott and Donner. And then the next one will come and then he plays side to side. And then he's going to say, these players here are playing Scott and Donner. I want to side to side. Then the next coach will come with me and then it's like, you see, every season you're gonna change players, and all these coaches are gonna play because they're gonna fail because they're gonna find themselves in a position where they have players who don't fit their system. Next player, this one touched me because I really believe that the boy had something. He reminded me of players who play similar to given Maswangai, Tembazwane, and that is Lebohang Lisako. Lebohang Lisako. Given Tibet, I forgot to say, is 26. Lebohang Lusako is 24. I think right now he's still at Kaizer, but I think Chiefs released him. Like I say, this boy had goals in him. He was basically a number 8/number 10. He knew how to manipulate the ball, meaning that had Kevin Johnson come and found Lisako would probably be in the starting lineup of Kaizer Chiefs today because Kevin Johnson would get the best out of Lisako because he's that kind of ball. Him and Matlo and all these boys who know how to carry the ball, who are skillful, who have the timing, they would do well. But yeah, unfortunately, guys, this is what I'll say. These players can be good now, but they still need training and they still need the right structures to remain disciplined and focused. So the coaching is very important. Sometimes you can have the most talent in the world, but if you're not coached right, you will never make it, even if you are a player who embodied talent. So that's what I'll say there. Next player is Keleto Sifama. Keleto Sifama, out of all these players I'm going to talk about, is actually the youngest player. Keleto Sifama is 20. The last I heard, he was at Sekhukhune United. I think they DDC team. Keleto Sifama, we saw he was an attacking winger, etc. But what I believe, me personally, is that discipline might have been a problem. It hasn't been mentioned, but like I said, I just saw Sifama had a lot of tattoos and all of those things. And these things do get to the players if there are no right structures, especially for a team as big as Kaizer Chiefs. So that might have been an issue. And he never got a chance. And this is what I'll say with this chance thing. These players, they joined Kaizer Chiefs, a very big brand. They're working in the background to play. Then the coaches at the top never give them a chance. Never give them a chance. These players, as young as they are, they get depressed. They don't know what to do. They giving their all in practice. They can see players who are flopping in practice, flopping in games, and still they're not given a chance. What happens to that player? That player ends up getting the wrong people speaking to him. Good, coach, coach, useless. Asambe so pools, kokumo, relax, boy, UEP, cheese player. They say the wrong things. These boys end up going and drinking. These boys end up depressed. These boys end up sleeping with girls. These boys end up sick. They end up gambling. They end up doing things to distract themselves from not being in an environment where they are given a chance, where they are protected, where they know they have a future. And that's what happens to these players. They lose focus, and I feel like that might have happened with Usifama. But I really hope that's not the case. I really hope he comes back, and I really hope he does well at Sekhukhune. And I don't want to say that's the issue with him, but I really hope he comes back because I believe that boy had. I thought he could have become the next Billiard, but that's just me. The next one is Thabo Mokoena. He was a center back, left-footed center back. And we have been talking about getting a left-footed centre back. Utabo Mukwena, what was his biggest issue as left-footed centre back from my observation of him is that he was a slow player. He wasn't the fastest player, but he was a creative player. Best player to compare him to is Njabulo Ngcobo. Njabulo Ngcobo is not a quick player, but he's a smart player, and I think Mukwena fits that role. When he was at Chiefs, I used to see sometimes when we play friendlies, they were trying to play him at left back, but he was not a left back. So he was more of a center back, but yeah, he didn't make it as well. So those are the players I wanted to highlight. There are many other players. I'm just gonna run through the list of of other random players, but I know you guys will name your players. But yeah, name your players. Nicholas Mainhardt, striker, didn't make it. Utwala, who's now in Botswana, didn't make it. Orowana didn't make it. Daryl Macheke, who's now at Stelis, didn't make it. And then I also mentioned Happy Mashian and Sabelo Khadebe. They're at Chiefs right now. They're with the squad, but it seems like they're going down the same road. Hopefully, maybe Kevin Johnson will be able to fix it. Okay, guys, but yeah, thank you for the support. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for commenting. Let me know your favorite players that you wish stayed at Chiefs, that you wish Chiefs believed in, and yeah, tell me who you remember from DDC youth ranks and wish Chiefs had better plans for them and better structures for them to succeed. Tell me, Amakhosi.